started in X-ray about 28 years ago, and I went into it because I didn't know what else I wanted to do. I enjoyed people and patients. So I got trained. Thought school was the hardest thing I ever had to do, but I got through it and became a tech. And my first job required mammography, so within a year I took my mammography registry and passed it again and did mammography for about 2 more years before I decided it was not my cup of tea. And I decided to move on to another facility that was a little faster paced, a little less clinic. And I really, really, really liked X-ray, got cross-trained into CT. About 9 years after that, I took my registry in that, so I've been registered in CT for almost 19 years. And I love X-ray and CT. They're varied. The patients change every day. It's exciting. I like trauma. I like the hospital work. I just like that much better. It fits me a little bit better. I really like dealing with patients. I like watching people grow. I did forget to say that I also have recently moved into a new position that is more administrative. I do a lot of coaching and teaching and educating and helping others be the best that they can be, so to speak. And I really, really like that. I like the aspect of watching people be better and do better at their own jobs. So I think that's my favorite part right now. I coach them on standards and help them remember when we're changing standards. Processes change in the hospital daily almost. And so it's hard to keep everything straight. So I do a lot of coaching. I do a lot of teaching. I facilitate some cross-training between our X-ray techs and CT that just started a few months ago. So they're running a program with that. Working on a lot of tip sheets. It's just different. It's different work, being away from patients a little bit.
Do you miss CT?
I miss patients. I miss CT. I still get to do it when they're busy or don't have enough staff. Then I still go back onto the floor. I'm still registered. And so I get my fix. I like that. As an X-ray and CT tech on the floor, you work as a team. It's very important that you guys have each other's back, help moving. Patients are getting heavier and heavier, unfortunately, and so the workload is difficult to handle. Currently in my new role, I'm much more individual. Probably half my day is spent creating the things that I'm going to spend the time teaching. So much more by myself. I used to base my day and how much I did and what I did on the number of patients I did. If I helped X-ray somebody that broke something and now I know they're going to get fixed, and I based my worth on that. Currently in my new role, I need to be more autonomous. I need to have projects and task-oriented. I need to keep myself motivated and moving forward and keep all those balls in the air that you have going. Currently, I have, I think, about 6 different projects I'm working on. So it's just different. And but I do get to set my own hours. It's a little less stress when you're sick or can't be at work, but it's rewarding. I like it. I look for compassion, quality patient care. If that's not your forte, then you need to find a way to make it part of your routine, part of your repertoire. You got to at least be able to fake it. I've known techs that are great techs that are not compassionate by nature, and they're still very good techs. There's interpersonal communication skills. Critical thinking is super, super, super important. You got to be able to think a situation through. Not everything is a book. You're going to learn books in school. You're going to learn to take tests, but when life hits the floor, you just have to know how to do what you're doing. Willingness to learn and listen to feedback. We constantly grow throughout our career. Our career is constantly changing. I started in film. We're now digital. I had to learn that somewhere. I never went back to school to learn that. So, and then dependability. Your techs, your friends, your coworkers need to know that you're dependable. You'll be at work. You'll help them out when they need help. If you want to spend long times on your feet and pushing and pulling patients, then go into radiology. But if you want to spend a long time with each patient and learn about their families and care for them for a long period of time, you're not going to want to choose imaging. A nursing career, some other type of career might be best. We're the grandparents of medicine. We just get to borrow our patients, send them back. If you like them, you can keep them a little bit longer. If you don't, you shouldn't. And then also, it's just a very physical job. Pushing, pulling, moving. It's going to be taxing on your body, so just be careful. Typical of the industry. Not many places have my current role of the coaching. There's a lot of nursing coaches, but not a lot of imaging coaches. But as X-ray and CT, it's very typical. Just a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun, rewarding at the end of the day. Technology will drive the field. As technology advances, this field will advance as well. Modalities and exams kind of come and go, they ebb and flow. So some things may move from one modality to another, vice versa. Also, there's some policies in place for physicians ordering. So volumes may go up in certain modalities, they may go down in others, depending on how those policies all take place. All of multi-care is basically Siemens, except for ultrasound, which I believe is Philips. I've used GE and Siemens mostly, but there's a couple other companies, Toshiba, Philips. Gold standard is currently Siemens right now, and GE. And that's where most people around here have. We have transfer mechanisms, so it's called a hover mat. There's some slider boards, there's some other things. It actually inflates. It's kind of like a hovercraft. It moves a patient's body from one place to another, causing less stress on the patient, less stress on the staff members, in order to get them from point A to point B. Once they're on the table moves in, table moves out. We have injectors, which we can put contrast into patients to see anywhere blood flows, vessels, vasculature. Pushes the contrast so we don't have to be in the room. And then that's pretty much it. And then the scanner itself. Well, when you come in, you look at your patient volume for the day. You'll have some outpatients. You might be assigned to an outpatient. You might have some biopsies, procedures. You could be assigned to that. Down in the ED, it's just do them as they come. As the ED orders exams, you could have traumas being called. You could have what we call a code neuro, which is stroke protocols. So you have to be on your toes. You have to know how to balance your patients. Maybe you have 3 or 4 orders, but then a stroke comes in. You need to make sure you can balance and get that patient done in a more timely manner than somebody that might not need the CT quite as quickly. So constantly changing, thinking of what you're doing, thinking of where you're going, putting a patient on the table, scanning, taking them off the table, finishing processing your imaging, sending it to the radiologist. The evening before, I kind of write a list of what needs to get done for the week on Friday. And then every night before I go home, I write what I'm working on the next day. So when I come in, I review that list, check some emails. I usually round with every modality, walk through the modality, see if anybody needs anything, if there's any concerns, questions, plan out meetings, plan out my day, and then just start in on projects. And I might get interrupted 3 or 4 times. Today I got something thrown at me, and I had to stop what I was doing, go take care of something else, come back. I do a lot of answering questions, a lot of educating. Like I said, we're working on implementing text-giving nitroglycerin, which is a new medication for technologists to give. So I just implemented that this morning, actually. So it goes live next week. We worked on some new cardiac procedures with gating, which just means we're watching the heart rate and scanning during a certain level of the heart rate. So my day just ebbs and flows depending on the project's going and whether I need to be with people or in my office. I work very closely with management, supervisors. They may have issues or concerns, and we deal with that at the time as well. I love my job. I've loved it for almost 28 years. I started as an X-ray tech, and now I'm part of our administration team. So thank you.